On 5th of October on Joy News between 9:30 a.m. to 12 noon.
And looking for innovative yet affordable housing solutions, register and join the conversation at the 5th Ghana Green Building Summit and Exhibition 2022. You will learn and have access to innovative models to build houses under 1 month and under 300,000. Funding options for affordable housing, building blocks from recycled materials. Register at the GhanaGreenBuildingSummit.com or call 0500 261 972. The summit is supported by IFC, Calbank, Saint-Gobain, Echo Stone Business and Financial Times newspaper, Global Media Alliance, Ghana Web, Grader, the Ghana Institution of Engineers, Ghana Institute of Surveyors, Mikasa, Joy FM, and Joy News.
Okay. Do you want a British degree? Do you want it at a fraction of the cost, Raymond Acquah? Do you want a vibrant student experience in a community that equips you with useful employability skills, taking you one step closer to the career of your dreams? Actually, now that I think of it, looks like every one of us here has a British degree. I know. Okay. Yeah. Enjoy all these and more, plus up to 50% scholarship for your degree at Lancaster University, Ghana. Be taught by the finest faculty trained to UK standards at their ultra-modern campus. For more information, go to lancaster.edu.gh. You can also contact them via email at admissions@lancaster.edu.gh or just call them on 020-960-7008. Lancaster University, Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
Kojo, while we're talking about Coolio, I mean, I'd love to hear more from Raymond, who was rapping everything. But it's also important to hear from a lot of Ghanaians who may have loved his tunes, When I went to secondary school, I had a senior called Coolio.
Oh, sir.
His nickname was Coolio.
It became a very popular nickname.
Yeah, his name was Coolio until he eventually formed a group, the Three Wise Men, even though they were two. This is a group of two.
Who was that then?
But there are three wise men.
The Holy Spirit joined them.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
Oh, goodness. I'll tell you my favorite memory of Coolio. When I performed Gangster's Paradise at we used to have a group called Campus Youth, just a group of all the youth on UCC campus, and we organized a big variety night at the UCC auditorium and invited the public, and we put up performances, and I performed Coolio's Gangster's Paradise. Set it all up with the smoke and everything, and the leather jackets and the sunglasses, and the whole shebang. And that was a fun night.
There was this blogger who was interested in my cousin.
Oh.
He wrote the lyrics for me, and he did for other songs too. So I mean, many of these songs are actually. So if I'm interested in the song, they say no. As a way of me connecting him to my cousin.
You write the lyrics.
Yes. He will detail it fully.
People have done things for love.
Charlie.
Before.
Then the woman married a different person.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah.
Why did he get the lyrics wrong?
No. 100% right. In fact, his name was Mark II, I remember. Yeah, Mark II, Charlie. That's no job.
Wow. I wonder where he is today.
Oh.
Probably not a songwriter. So what are your favorite Coolio memories? Okay, let's share them as we remember a person who became an icon, a part of the musical culture. So call us 0302 216 541 055 1111997. If it's just to tell us your favorite Coolio song or your best Coolio memory, any Coolio related trivia paraphernalia, we're welcoming it all as we remember someone who became a symbol during his lifetime, a hip hop icon, Coolio. And but by the way, that song Gangster's Paradise, it features a vocalist called LV. Who I wonder what happened to him. I wonder whether he's alive. He had a very soulful voice as well, and he did some other songs, but I wonder whether his career never traveled beyond his feature in Gangster's Paradise, which, by the way, was the soundtrack for an award-winning movie starring Michelle Pfeiffer called Dangerous Minds. if something is related to a movie there, I'm likely to remember it.
Of course.
Yeah, so yeah, Dangerous Minds, story of a substitute teacher who takes on some urban youth and molds them into something far beyond what they ever believed they could be. And that song was a very perfect soundtrack to that great, inspiring movie. Let's take a few calls. 0302 216541, 055 1111997. I know people of a certain era will certainly connect more with Coolio than others. So call us, tell us your favorite Coolio moments.
Yeah, that definitely would be, Coolio, very popular in the 90s. So, for those of you who were born in the late 70s and 80s, you definitely would love Coolio. For the ancient of days, we grew also to enjoy him. But of course, I'm sure that a lot of people, who growing up learned his song, particularly Gangsta's Paradise, which became, very, very popular. Then you had, I remember I See You When We Get There. That one, boys have used it to do a lot of things.
Yeah, it's got some great instruments in there, violins and all that. It's a great sweeping, epic hip-hop anthem. But did you never learn any of the lyrics of his
songs? I did.
So give us some freestyle.
Oh, no.
It wouldn't be freestyle. But
I've been advised not to sing.
But this is not singing.
I don't want
rapping.
I don't want to rap.
Oh, why?
I don't want to rap. So a lot of I don't want to do any bit of rapping now, Charlie. You are the ones.
Listen, maybe we'll come back and take some calls later, so that we can have a bit of a conversation about that. But coming up next, we need to get some understanding of what happens when you're trying to buy land, especially stool land. How do you avoid disputes? How do you avoid being swindled? And what is it that makes stool land so complicated to buy? The experts, Martin Kpebu and Kwame Djan, join us after these.
Are you covered? In fact, how much do you know about motor insurance? Do you know exactly what it takes to make sure that your car is all round covered the way it really needs to be? To make the right choice when choosing a motor insurance policy, you need to talk to the right people. Dunwell Insurance offers competitive rates and a choice of covers ranging from third-party cover, third-party fire and theft cover to comprehensive cover. At Dunwell Insurance, we delight in paying personal attention to our esteemed customers and ensure prompt payment of claims. So if you didn't know, now you know. Dunwell Insurance. If it must be done, it must be done well.
Hello, my name is Mamavi Owusu-Aboagye, an entrepreneur and a mother of two. My work keeps me busy most of the time, and sometimes it takes me away from my family. But the safety and health of my family is very important to me. As a working mother, I cannot afford to take any chances when it comes to matters of health. That is why I signed up for a family health care plan from Equity Health Insurance. My family and I have access to over 700 hospitals, clinics, opticians, dentists, pharmacies, and diagnostic centers across the length and breadth of Ghana. With Equity Health Insurance, I no longer have to worry about medical bills. Anytime a member of my family visits a hospital, Equity Health Insurance has got my family and I covered. What about you? Who has got you covered?
Call Equity Health Insurance on 050-660-7910 and talk to them about your family health needs now. Visit equityhealthinsurance.com for more information. Equity Health Insurance, here for you.
Image Brew and April Communications, in partnership with the National Theatre, presents.
Stanley, look, all hell will be let loose if now we're to see anything in the newspapers about me and Mary and living in Labone.
But why?
Because I live with Nashome in his cantonments.
No, son, you live with Mary in Labone.
That too.
Hey, you've got two homes?
Yes.
One here with Mary?
Yes.
And one with your girlfriend in East Cantonment?
Yes, only Nashome is not my girlfriend.
What is she? A German Shepherd?
She's my wife.
Run for your wife. Live at the National National Theatre. Saturday 1st and Sunday 2nd October, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. Tickets are now selling for 100 Ghana cedis at Bachona Total, Koala, Frankie's, Tama Community 11 Shell, Nalem Store, X-Men, East Legon, or go to www.imagebureaugh.com or dial *365*2020 hash.
So you've got 2 wives?
Yes.
And 2 homes?
Yes.
I can't believe it.
Me myself, sometimes I'm surprised.
Prepare for the most hilarious comedy of your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you missed last month's Fala Friday, well, guess what? It's here again. Refresh with a big bang. This Friday, 30th September 2022, TCL is giving you up to 50% discount on all items, including the all-new TCL Google TVs, air conditioners, washing machines, fridges, and much more. No long talk. Get up to a 50% discount Fala this Friday. Walk into any TCL or Max Buy showroom across the country and enjoy this amazing discount only on Fala Friday. Guy, find a Fala, call 059-691-3298 or visit store.tclghana.com. TCL Fala Friday. Paddy Fano Fala. TCL. Inspire greatness.
When the world looks at my child, they just see an energetic 8-year-old. But I see more. My Lucy is going to become captain of her school volleyball team, keep excelling in class, and do great things one day. I see a champion. So when I give her Milo with her breakfast every day, it's all part of waking up the champion in her.
Don't just wake up your child, wake up the champion in her. Let Milo with Active Go and the natural goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa help wake up the champion in your child every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo. This advert is FDA approved.
Coffee in your cup. Enjoy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet. On Joy 99.7 FM.
I sneak up on it like a cheetah and get a call in the wild when I greet it.
some land, expand our portfolio. When that time comes, how do we ensure that we don't fall into all of the glaring potholes, the obvious pitfalls, especially when it comes to stool land? That's the area that I'm hoping we will learn a bit more about today, because a lot of the disputes tend to be around that. So our guests in the studio, Kpebu and Kwame Djan, both of them private legal practitioners with quite a lot of experience between them when it comes to land issues. We're hearing from them in just a moment, but first, listen, do you care about your engine? Whatever you drive, whatever the conditions, we all have the right to get the best motor oil for our vehicles, and thank goodness for Shell, because that's exactly what they give us. At the heart of every performing and long-lasting engine, there is a Shell motor oil, formulated with the most exclusive cutting-edge gas-to-liquid technology that transforms gas into a pure oil. Shell motor oils keep your engine clean, stronger, smoother, and gives a longer oil change interval. Shell motor oils are also endorsed by the very prestigious car manufacturers like BMW, Hyundai, and your car. Having challenges choosing the right motor oil for your car? Talk to the experts at Shell stations. Their oil specialists and lube bay mechanics are trained to understand your car and guide you on the right way of maintenance. Visit any Shell station now and choose from their complete range of products and enjoy the benefit of additional checks on your vehicle for free. Shell lubricants designed for ultimate engine performance. All right, I think we can get into the conversation now. And gentlemen, thank you so much for making the time. Kpebu and Kwame Djan, private legal practitioners. Good morning to you both. All right, so today I think the things that we want to be able to achieve by the end of this conversation, one, we want to understand the processes around it and the law that governs purchase of land, particularly stool lands. We also want to understand why it sometimes goes wrong. What are the problems that come up? And then we want to understand how to resolve those problems, but most importantly, how to avoid them if we can. So today we want an education, and we want to be able to use real case studies. So I'm glad that someone like Kpebu is here, because you've obviously handled a number of cases, and you'll be able to draw from your rich experience to help us with that. And of course, Kwame Djan is seen by most to be the number one authority when it comes to land law here in Ghana. So very grateful for your presence. And if you don't mind, I'll start with you, Mr. Djan. Maybe a definition of terms, if you will. when it comes to stool land, what exactly do we mean? What type of land do we refer to as stool lands?
The land we refer to as stool land is simply a parcel of land whose rights of control and allocation are controlled by an entity called a stool.
Okay.
That's it. In other words, the powers to determine use and allocations are vested in a stool. Now, what it means is that the stool is also a body corporate, which has legal personality, like Martin will tell you. A stool is like you and I. It has the capacity to own land, sell, transfer, lease, and litigate in respect of land. So if you go to the literature, the law reports, you'll find several instances where stools were plaintiffs or defendants. So Ofuman stool and Inchira, Bukuruwa stool and so you see the stools themselves come to court because they are a body corporate, and you will see the chief and the court around the chief as the managing director and the other officials of the stool. So that's all it is about stool land. Now, mind you, there are other sets of land that look like stool lands. So if you go to Upper East, the areas around Bolga, for example, there are lands which are communal lands, like stool lands. They are owned by the community.
Right.
The stool lands are not owned by the chief. Otherwise, they would have been called chief lands. The stool lands are owned by the community, and the community is personified by the chief, who sits on a stool, which is the symbol of office of the chief. But if you look at Article 267, Clause 1 of the Constitution, the chief is holding the land in trust for the subjects of the stool in accordance with customary law and usage. So, if you go up, like I was saying, towards the Upper East region, there are lands that are controlled not by chiefs, but by tendanes. These lands are also communal lands. But the control and allocation is not controlled or determined by a chief. It is determined by a tendana, who is not a chief. So if you go to Bolga and you want land, you don't go to the Bolga Naba. You have to look for the tendana who has jurisdiction over the area where the land is located.
Right.
In some parts of the country, it is not the chief that controls the land, but his families. The areas, in some of the Gadangwe areas, the lands are controlled by families. So they are called family lands. In the Pram, Ningo, Adan areas, the lands are controlled by clans. So those lands are called clan lands, but they are still communal lands. You know, so the underlying consideration in all these categories of lands is the communal ownership.
Okay.
And that's what brings the trusteeship concept. That if the lands are owned by the community, then the managers of those lands are not the owners. But they are fiduciaries who are managing these lands for the benefit of the communities they represent. So when you talk about stool land, it is simply, like I said, land whose control and management is vested in an entity called a stool.
Right. How would I know that the land I'm buying is a stool land? Are there certain things I would have to look out for?
But you don't just go and try to buy the land. Deal with a professional. The professionals who are well versed in land matters. If you mention the area, they know who owns the area, whether it is a stool or a clan or a family, and which one specific. So Martin will tell you, me, if you mention parts of the country or parts of Accra, I know who are the owners. Well, I will give you an example. One day, a top client, and because it's Marcel Desai client of mine at that time, had gotten some land which later became Lizzie's complex.
Okay. Yeah.
He got it from some Nungwa people. And they had given him a document which said that the place was called New Nungwa. He tried to register the document, it didn't click. Because they had given him a 29-year lease, and he was a French national. And by Article 266 of the Constitution, a non-citizen cannot hold land for more than 50 years by way of a lease.
Right.
So I knew that the lease had a fundamental problem. Then, New Nungwa, I looked at the document and I started laughing. He said, why? Lawyer, why? I said, that area they have given you and described as New Nungwa is actually Otele. It's part of a judgment in the case of Nico Tiamli and Rebecca Kufuor, which declared that Bawaleshi and Otele belong to Clan Akota of La. And his land was falling right inside the judgment plan when I did the superimposition. So I knew that cannot be any place called New Nungwa. If you are not well versed, they will sell you the place as New Nungwa, and that's your problem.
But let me, because we have a real life example, help me understand. So whoever was representing themselves as the Nungwas too, how did they get?
No, the person was not really the Nungwas too. A young man from Nungwa.
How did they get documentation to, first of all, identify this land as their own?
It's by way of a plan. By way of a site plan. You can call anybody to prepare a site plan for you.
That was it.
Yes, so you get a site plan. At that time, even though the law required that you must have the director of survey or their representative sign the plan was just done by a licensed surveyor, number so and so, and there is an indenture in the side plan that the area is Nunungwa. Meanwhile, it is Otele.
So there was a signature of a licensed surveyor.
On the plan.
Would such a person not be liable to prosecution?
If you can find him.
Oh, but he's licensed, so.
Oh, no, so if I gave you a document that says Kwame Djan, license surveyor number 41, am I a licensed surveyor?
Okay. So it means he is also fraudulently
misrepresenting himself.
Doing that.
Yes. Because the surveyor, there is a certification and at the lower part of the site plan, we say that I, license surveyor number so and so, name so and so, hereby certify that the parameters of this plan are the ones that my client showed me and I picked up on the ground.
Wow.
That is why the law says to present a plan of land, it must be signed by the director of survey or the regional representative of the director of survey. If you do it that way, you are reasonably certain that the plan is correct. Because if a licensed surveyor goes to do the plan, he will submit the plan to the appropriate regional surveyor to check the work that has been done and certify that it's true, the land is on the ground. Because I have seen plans which many years back when I was the legal advisor at the Ministry of Lands, complaints came about transactions. On a particular instance, side plans were brought. And when we did the superimposition, 2 of them were behind the Independence Square. So it means they were sitting right in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yes.
One, the plan was part of the Accra Sports Stadium. So it means this person was sold part of the Accra Sports Stadium.
How's that possible?
Yes, he was sold part of the Accra Sports Stadium.
Oh my word.
It is possible because the person thought land acquisition is just like walking to Accra Mall and paying for a shirt. That's the problem.
Wow.
It's a serious business. Part of the Accra Sports Stadium was sold. He wasn't getting the title. Then they petitioned the minister. The minister referred it to me to look at. So I got the surveyor to verify the cadastral plan, and they said, no, lawyer, part of Accra Sports Stadium. A client of mine got land supposedly in Boteman. They gave him a plan. When we did the superimposition, the land, if it is on the ground, should be lying at Ashalaja.
Ashalaja?
Yes.
But that's very far from Boteman.
Exactly.
Nothing to do with Boteman whatsoever.
Because when you are trying to get land, you have to get your own surveyor to verify the plan that they've given you. Don't just rely on the plan that the vendor has given you. The principle always, Martin knows, is caveat emptor. Let the buyer beware. It's you that has to beware, not the seller. The seller doesn't have to beware. Yes, there are legal consequences for concealment of encumbrance and so on under the Land Act. But it's you that is making an investment in the land. You have to be proactive and prudent.
So, it's already so much to think about. And I want to now bring this to practical application. Martin Kpebu, you've been in court, you've represented people. Listening to what Mr. Kwame Djan has said, what is it about stool land that sometimes muddies the waters and causes clients with the best intentions to end up in a dispute? What is it about stool lands in particular? Do you have examples that you can use to illustrate why buying stool land can be such a quagmire?
Okay, yes. So, number one, what you see about stool lands is that often it's about the capacity of the officers involved in the number of people. So you see that once you are faced with a situation where there are different actors having different capacities in the stool, the affairs of the stool, then you would see that chances are high somebody may misrepresent his capacity, his functions, right? Yeah, so let's give a practical example. Let's say, you see, Nungwasu, like even Lawyer Djan mentioned earlier, and my venerable teacher, I think we should mention, you know.
Oh, wow.
Lawyer Djan, yes. I remember in law school, he was much loved, okay, by students because of his down-to-earth attitude and everything, encouraging students all over. I think even here, before we came on set, Raymond saw him and had such a glowing tribute. So, Lawyer Djan, thanks for teaching us, right? Teaching.
I'm privileged.
Good, good, good. Yeah, so let's say, for example, I'm sure you've heard this case, Trasaco Valley, okay? Trasaco Valley, yes. Now, typically, you see that this is a case that went to court, so I can use it as an example since it's no longer in court. You see that they started a lawsuit from High Court, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court. But let's put it this way, throughout the court, one thing that came out was that there were certain actors, okay, who sought to give land, but didn't have the requisite capacity to give. And also, you know, sometimes the issue of, because the actors are many, somebody gives land here, then another person also comes to give the same land. So it tells you that the system, recording the transactions is quite a big challenge. Yes, so that it calls for a system for recording land transactions, even at the customary level, such a way. And of course, the new Land Act
seeks to address that.
Yes, customary land secretariat and all that, right? Yeah, so that Trasaco example like this. The Empire Builders got the land from Teshi. Then later it turned out when they sued, then they sued Topkins and Real Estate. Then as the court proceedings went on, it became clear that the land rather belongs to Nungwas too, right? Yes. So at the end of the High Court matter, Justice Broby, at that time he was a High Court judge, ruled that, okay, look, all the parties, just keep what you have on the ground. That's a possession. Yes, keep what you have on the ground. So it means that Empire Building, which we popularly know as Trasaco, keep what you are in possession of on the ground. Let Topkins and their rate estate also keep theirs. Because see, Empire, which is popularly known as Trasaco, went to court to say that Topkins should not develop, they don't have an interest in their 62 acres. Of course, not all the 62 acres falls within the Trasaco land. About 8 of it is out. So that 54, don't come here because Empire Builders owns it, right? Now, when the court went into the matter, the court disagreed and said, oh, no, Empire, no, let Topkins and Real Estate keep their 62. As I've said, even though you see that not all of it is Trasaco land, but it doesn't matter, it's not a material factor at this stage. But everybody should keep what they are in possession of. Trasaco wasn't happy. They went to Court of Appeal, and then Court of Appeal to say, no, we will not do otherwise. We'll go with the High Court. So just let what you've acquired in the judgment stay. Then to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court also said the same, no? But we will not disturb the High Court and Court of Appeal judgment. But rather, even there's an interesting thing at a point where trying to say, Ernesto Tarikuni, his father was not Ghanaian, and so he cannot get land for 99 years and the rest. No, in the Supreme Court judgment, the Supreme Court said, no, that was wrong. The Court of Appeal couldn't have made such an order that his father couldn't get 99-year lease. So the order that the Court of Appeal made, saying that they've reduced the tenure to 50 years, was set aside. So can you imagine? The person will say that he cannot get land and everything. The Supreme Court said no, the lands were registered. Those acquisitions, what he's already acquired, restored back to him, 99 years. No issue of citizenship and those things were germane to the case before the court. Good. So now fast forward, we come to, as we say, the problems. What are the problems? Then after court is done, what you have is that people from Nungwa now come onto the land and say, look, hey, you went to court, you are looking for an order of possession. Since you didn't get it, then it means that you've lost all the lands. So that now they've sent notices to residents that those residents should come back to Nungwas to atone tenant. You see, so that's a term we use in land. That so one person is, so let's say you sue Winston, then you win. But before you won, Winston had probably given Mr. Djan and myself. So based upon the judgment you've obtained against Winston, you said, look, you see, I defeated your grantor. So come and atone. That's come and regularize with me. I'll take some money and sign new documents for you. Otherwise, you don't have an interest, blah, blah, blah.
So the Nungua stool was addressing this to the current residents of Trasaco.
Excellent, yes.
Wow.
That is the thing. So you see how these litigations can sometimes bring new issues altogether. Yes, but this one like this, the reason it doesn't fly is that all throughout, and Ernesto Tariconi, he and Nungua, they are super. They are good friends. Yeah, I mean, for all these decades, it's been doing stuff for them, part of their land, for it to be released. He played a substantial role. Okay, at a point, they even gave him a certain this chieftaincy role in Nungua and all that. Yes, so it's amazing that now they say no, all the residents should come in atone. You saw that, so at least we can use that as an example since you saw the notices about a few weeks ago. It can't happen because the same Supreme Court will tell you that once those people were never part of the case, you can't come and ask that their lands, either they pay to you or you take over their lands. No, they were not part. And throughout, like the way I've been saying, Ernesto Tariconi and Nungua too, they've been good friends, good decades, you see. So it's amazing. And one key part is that we should know, as the case was in court, there were other transactions ongoing, okay, between the parties. So you see that in 2010, 2011, so there was this aspect of the land, about 114 acres, that belonged to the government of Ghana. Okay, but that was wrongly sold to Trasaco, that's Empire's builders. In the High Court, yes, the court may declare that, that 114 acres is for government of Ghana. Subsequently, while the case was going on, government of Ghana released that land, part of it, to the Nungua stool. And then the Nungua stool went ahead and gave it to Empire builders. Yes, so let me see. Wait, I think I have it there. So you see that, you see a Supreme Court judgment, but it doesn't tell you the other transactions the parties were going into, okay, having on the side. So you see the Nungua Stool and Empire Builders Limited for 62.466 acres situated at Boteman. You see it? Yes. So that's one example, and that's in 2010. And you see that government gave it consent, because remember that government released the land to them as a leasehold. So if Nungua Stool needed to give it out to somebody, you go to government for consent. So you see that government gave consent for this land to be released to Empire Builders. So you see that if you turn around and say, no, the land doesn't belong to you, then it beggars belief. So you see, Nana Djan at that time, he was the chairman of the Lands Commission. You see, on the 16th day of February 2011, lawyer Djan.
So you are referring to other transactions between Empire and the Nungua Stool.
Very, very key. We have lots of them. There is one, 2006, you see deed of confirmation, a number of them, yes. 17th day of May 2006. So while the parties were a court, at the same time today, and what happens is that you can settle your matters even when you go to court. Yeah, it's allowed. And when judgment is even been given, you can compromise the judgment. Yes, you're allowed to compromise it. It's one very distinct. When we say compromise, let's break it down further. So let's come back to the example I gave earlier on. Kojo, you sue Winston for $100 million. You win. Then later you see that, Winston now put me, we've been doing this Super Money show for some time. Well, let me not burn my bridges. I don't know what will happen tomorrow. So you call Winston and say, Winston, you know what? Okay, this $100 million, I won't take all. Just give me $1 million. I forgive you 99. It's allowed. The court said, come and take your $100 million from Winston. You looking at it, you've decided that you will take 1 million. The 99, he should keep it. It's allowed. You can even say, look, I don't even need it. I just wanted to make a point. So you keep it. It's also allowed. So you're allowed to compromise. So you see that this 2000 and what do you call it, 6. But then the High Court had already given its judgment. That's Justice Brobe. At that time, he was in High Court. He did the first judgment. He had already finished 2003. That was when he gave judgment in the High Court matter. So 2006, yes, the parties are allowed to compromise it. And apart from the 2006 one, I've shown you the one in 2010 when the government released the 114 acres, part of it to the Nungua stool. And Nungua stool gave Empire Builders 62.466 acres. And you see it's been signed. So what I'm saying basically is that, so you see that, yes, you see litigation, but the parties are also allowed to make their deals on their side. Yes, as long as they've not disobeyed the court. No, that's not contempt. It's allowed. You have rights under a judgment, then you give it you see. And so all throughout, as I've said, you find that, and it's good we haven't mentioned this case, because sometimes you meet people that they've misread the judgment. All throughout, the case in court was that it was Empire Builders who were not happy that Top Kings and the rate top real estate had the 62 acres. That was the beef. So they wanted to stop Top Kings. But the High Court, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court said, no, you can't stop them. Let them have their 62. And as I've said, it's 54 that actually falls within the Empire Builders land. So that's the crust of the matter. That's the crust. And then Empire wanted an order of possession. Yes, but Justice Broby said, no, look, just keep what you have. So throughout, in all the three judgments, you don't see the Supreme Court saying, so even committing the final one, the Supreme Court judgment, you don't see them saying, hey, as I could get off the land, residents get off. No. It's been protected because dating back from 2003, the High Court ruled that whatever you are in possession of, each one of you, these parties, keep.
Is this an interpretation, or is that the strict letter of the judgment?
Yeah, that's a strict letter, because Justice Broby said, keep what you have, each one of you. So when it went on appeal, so remember, Empire wasn't happy. So Empire then goes on appeal. They said, no, you can't get the Top Kings land. So that's the main matter before the court. They were fighting that Top Kings should not have, and their joint venture partner, should not have that 62 acres. That's what the fight, the main part, in terms of what is relevant here, so we don't overtalk. That's the main. What did they go to court for? And as I said, all throughout, Nungua were friends. You even see pictures. You see Ernesto friends with Nungua and the rest. So Nungua wasn't fighting Ernesto Tarekoni or Empire that bring back the land. No. There was no such fight. Because all this while, people have built and they are living there. Had their families there. Nothing. No. So it's a paper kind of fight in a way now.
All right. We're going to take a break. Of course, we're learning about land disputes, and how to avoid them, particularly when it comes to stool lands, where there can be quite a bit of controversy. When we come back, we'll be hearing more from Martin Kpebu, and of course, we'll be learning more from our two guests, particularly Mr. Kwame Djan, because we would love to understand how you and I can avoid such situations. So more real life scenarios, more examples. Plus, I'm very keen and curious to find out what happens to Trasacco residents. That and more when we come back from these messages.
Melcom Best Buy is on. Though we are still in tough times, Melcom says we're there for you. Save big at Melcom when you best buy your groceries, electronics, furniture, and all your daily need items at the lowest prices. Melcom, your one-stop supermarket for all your daily needs. Terms and conditions apply. Melcom, where Ghana truly saves. Melcom, where Ghana shops.
Hey, welcome back to work.
Charlie, thanks, bro.
The malaria really knocked you down, eh?
Charlie, no joke. Hey, fever, headache, vomiting, loss of appetite. I couldn't even eat my usual fufu.
You and fufu?
How we go do it?
I hope you got tested before the malaria treatment.
Oh, yes, I did. And thanks to Malatu, I kicked out malaria one time.
Sharp. Anyway, sorry to ruin your excitement, but your boss asked of you.
Okay.
She says she has plenty work for you.
No problem, Charlie. Strength day.
You see,
When malaria strikes, take Malatu, containing Artemether and Lumefantrine. Comes in tablet and suspension for the effective treatment of malaria in adults and children. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Malatu is manufactured and distributed by Ernest Chemists Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hey, Atongo! If you that, long time. Oh.
Coachman, it be me. Oh, look, I go for training for abroad. Oh, now I get a doctorate for psychology. I go for training for some fresh Interplast pipes.
Hey, I don't go be that. Oh, you always have something new from Interplast.
See this pipe be very durable and correct. You fit say it be very potent. Look, like it be medicines. If it could a bit Viagra serve, I could do press conference soon. You know, I could tell the whole world how my new pipes go fit stop global warming. It be go fit face the desert heat, Eskimo cold, even the Swiss canal.
I don't go. It no be global warming. It be warming.
I mean, all be the global now, whether warning or warming. See, it be the press conference where you go see why everybody for use PVC and HDPE pipes from Interplast. Interplast pipes be the best pipes. Very soon, Akosumbo and Boy themselves. Look, they don't go wait for rain because I got delayed HDPE pipes from the Red Sea and even global warning.
Hey, I don't go be that. International plumber with international pipes.
Interplast. Wherever you are, we make sure water reaches you, even space.
I've been everywhere and anywhere I go.
Fortune rice. It needs just a little water. The greenstone stick and the aroma and taste are delicious. Fortune rice, always on point, just like mom.
Now introducing Fortune Amoah, your tasty Ghana rice for all your rice meals.
This advert is FDA approved.
Just like mom.
It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town.
You're welcome back to the Super Morning Show. One of these days, we'll do a show about the things we talk about during the commercial break. Anyway, we've got so much to learn from our guests today. Lawyers Kwame, Djan and Martin Kpebu. Kwame, Djan, of course, this country's leading legal mind when it comes to land law. Martin Kpebu with loads of experience representing real clients in real land cases. And we are learning so much from the two of them. All right, so more in a moment. First, all MTN SIM cards in Ghana must be registered again with only the Ghana card by the 30th of September 2022. This exercise is also applicable to all of your data SIMs, your modems, TurboNet routers, etc. Failure to register your SIM cards will mean that you will not be able to use the internet after the 30th of September 2022. To register your data SIMs, please visit SIM registration portal .mtn.com.gh and fill out your details. Please note the registration is free and you will not be required to make any payments. Plus, they will give you 1 gigabyte of free data, which will be valid for 7 days.
And are you ready to wake up the champion in your child today? Don't just wake up your child. Help wake up the champion in your child with energy from Milo with Active Go and other foods. Your child needs all the support they can get as they go through their daily activities. And Milo with Active Go contains the natural goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa, and is a source of vitamins B2, B3, B6, B12, C, and D, and minerals. That's iron, calcium, phosphate. Energize your child with a nourishing cup of Milo every day. Milo, energy to go further.
All right, now, Ajay Sowa is an Accra-based taxi driver with a very tricky secret. He's married to 2 women who live 5 minutes apart but don't know about each other. Now, all is well until a slight accident interrupts his busy schedule, inviting the police and the media into his life. Now, how smart can an ordinary taxi driver be to outwit the police, evade the media, and prevent matters from getting out of hand when his wives find out about each other and the complication of a possible third wife? Run for Your Wife is a brand new play, the world's most hilarious play, and it's making a stop at the National Theatre on Saturday the 1st and Sunday the 2nd of October at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each night. So it's a brand new production of a classic play. Don't miss this awesome display of wits, twists, and tricks in this extremely hilarious comedy, staged by Image Bureau and April Communications in partnership with the National Theatre. Come and laugh your heart out at Run for Your Wife with the very best in the business. Shoko, Sichopetiko, Roland Adom, Andrew Tando Adote, Fifi Coleman, Francis Osei Bonsu, and of course George Quay, introducing for the first time on stage Arnold Asamoah Bedu. Saturday the 1st and Sunday the 2nd of October at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each night at the National Theatre. Tickets are selling now for 100 Ghana cedis only from Kuala, Tema Committee, 11 Shell, Nalam Stores, Ahom Store, Palm Wine Junction, Frankie's Zusu, X-Men East Legon, Bachona Total, Blue Mart Superstore, East Legon Hills, and Nanakrum, as well as Joy FM. You can also call 055-1313-134 for corporate purchases, inquiries, reservations, and delivery. Run for Your Wife, supported by Rhythms Africa and Trem Ghana. Run for Your Wife. Theatre never got this hilarious.
And the Ministry of Education, through the National Teaching Council, presents the Ghana Teacher Prize 2022 under the theme, The Transformation of Education Begins with Teachers. Guest of honor, His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the most outstanding teacher goes home with a 3-bedroom apartment. First runner-up goes home with a 4x4 pickup. Second runner-up gets a salon car. And the best teacher in leadership and administration also gets a salon car, and the best non-teaching staff gets a salon vehicle. So, activities include a 2-day symposium on the 3rd and 4th of October at Modern City Hotel in Tamale at 9 a.m. and then a Deba on Wednesday the 5th of October 2022 at exactly 9 a.m. And we're happening live at the University for Development Studies Multipurpose Hall at Tamale. Media partners, the Multimedia Group, and this event will be live on the Joy News channel from 9:30 a.m. to 12 noon on Wednesday, the 5th of October.
Okay. All right.
Yes, Martin, so yeah. I'm just looking at the appeals court's judgment. So, and I get the views of lawyer Kwame Djan also. It says, from the evidence on the record, the plaintiff later got to know that the land he occupied belonged to the Nungwa stool and not the Teshi stool. And that is why, after his title was challenged by the defendants, he approached the Nungwa stool to sign the Memorandum of Understanding to regularize his occupation of the land. That's what you've been referring to. It says,
that's just one.
Yes, that also explains why in the second suit, Atema, the plaintiff claimed ownership of the land as a grantee of the Nungwa stool. The evidence on record clearly established that when the plaintiff sought to regularize his grant with the Nungwa stool, that stool had already leased the disputed land to the first defendant.
Excellent.
Here, the first defendant is Top Kings. So the second defendant, therefore, did not have the land to lease to the plaintiff.
And which land is that? That's 62 acres.
It doesn't state which land that is.
So but you have to be in the case.
No, hold on, yes, I'm just going to get Kwame Djan's view on this. So these grounds of appeal also fail, and they are dismissed. Kwame Djan, so we're talking about land here, a disputed part of the land, which it says the plaintiffs sought to regularize with the Nungwa stool. But they couldn't have done that. Okay, let me not explain. You are the lawyer, so tell me.
There's a very fundamental legal principle in land law. It applies probably in other parts of the law. In the Latin, it's stated as nemo dat quod non habet. Nemo dat quod non habet, which means you cannot give what you don't have. So what the judge is simply saying is, at the time of the purported regularization from the Nungwa stool, the stool had already divested itself of the parcel of land. Therefore, the stool cannot subsequently give that land to a second person. This is very consistent with a principle which is an old principle in a case called Bruce and Kweno,
senior.
Which also is represented in another case called Benyak and Patel. So this principle is very well established. You cannot give today and go and give again tomorrow. That's what they were saying to the Ngwa people, that what you gave out to the Ernesto Empire, you had already given out. Now, what is causing the problem now is Martin says the court was referring to 62 acres.
Yes.
But you are also saying you don't see reference to 62 acres.
Yes.
You have to go to the High Court.
Yeah,
and
so
Court of
Martin
Appeal
now
decision.
is giving you a clue that go to the High Court and to the Court of
And
Appeal.
Winston, I'll help you here.
But have you seen the reference in the Supreme Court or in the...
Yes, I have all the judgments here. So
let's... What you are referring to, is it in the Supreme Court judgment? Or you are going back?
Yes, so Supreme Court gives the history.
Because you
Yes.
see, my
It's in the-
expectation was that I should take the Supreme Court judgment and not go back to the High Court and the Court of Appeal, but should be sufficiently clear.
Yes, it is.
Because when you are doing, I do law reporting.
Mhm.
I've been doing law reporting. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Ghana Monthly Judgments, which I've been doing since 2008.
Okay.
And cases like this, when they start, we don't report them in the High Court because we expect that they will go to the Court of Appeal. When the Court of Appeal judgment came out, we didn't report. The reason was we knew that there would be a further appeal. So you wouldn't find a law report that has the High Court and the Court of Appeal judgments. You will end up only with a court report, a law report that has the Supreme Court judgment. Should you be going to look for the High Court judgment and the Court of Appeal judgment before you make sense of the Supreme Court judgment? My answer is no.
Okay.
Good. Yes. Yeah. So it's here. No, everything is in the Supreme Court judgment. Yes. Let me show you, Winston. Paragraph 9. The first defendant, Topkins, you are talking about. It says here, the first defendant claimed that it acquired a total of 62 acres in 2 lots of 40 acres and 22 acres and registered the title deed in respect of blah blah. So that is it. You say so 62. So is that land that Empire Builders, popularly called Trasaco, wanted to take back? That no, Nungua has given this land to us in 1996, and Supreme Court said no. By the time Nungua was giving you all this land, they had already given that 62 acres to Topkins. So when they talk about the land, this is it. Apart from that, the other one, as in good faith, you read the judgment, you see that government of Ghana had 114 acres. Yes, in the High Court, you see that the judge refers to it. But that is what government of Ghana subsequently gave Nungua's to part of, and Nungua's to gave it to us. And I've shown you the agreement. So Winston, come back here, you see in the High Court, it says the plaintiff, that's Empire Builders, will hold on to the portions already in its possession, which are not being claimed by the defendant. Have you seen? Or the third and fourth co-defendants. So that's then you come further. This means that defendant is to keep the portion of the disputed land that are already in its possession. So defendant here, they are talking about Topkins. And then listen to another thing from the High Court. To avoid confusion, it is important to clarify the position of the disputed land where the plaintiff's claim for possession failed. So that's the part plaintiff cannot claim. These areas covers the 22 acres, the 8 acres, and the 32 acres of land in the possession of the defendant. If you add, you get 62. Then, as well as the land granted to the government of Ghana in 1940 for animal husbandry and road. And the 1940 land is what I said. You even see the agreement here. Government subsequently gave to the stool, and the stool gave us. And government itself gave us the remaining 55. So you see that the stool gave us 62.466 acres out of the 114. Then government gave us 55. If you add, you get the 114. So throughout, just the way to make it easier is that when they went to court, who was claiming what? Empire was saying that this 62 Topkins and there's a joint venture partner called Rate Top Housing Estate are occupying. It's mine. So Empire wanted that 62 acres. As I said, properly speaking, it should be 54. But whether 54 or 62, let's go on. And the court said, no, we will not give you that. Please, that land belongs to Topkins and Rate Top Housing Estate. We will not give you that land. That's all. And then we've shown that government of Ghana land, 114. So you deduct these two. The rest, there was no problem. Empire is in possession. That's it. So it's good you've seen it. So this really, residents shouldn't have such a problem because, like we're saying, they're never part of the litigation. And as we've been saying, Nungua and Ernesto have been good friends, good friends. Okay. And they don't deny it.
So now there are people listening who are thinking, how do I avoid this? How do I ensure it? Because it appears that the whole crux of the matter was that the Nungwas too sold land twice to two different people. And then following that, they are even now trying to get those who had bought the land from one of the parties to also come and pay them. How, me, regular guy, I want to go and buy land. How do I avoid this?
Let me tell you something. For that regular guy who wants to go and buy land, we lawyers don't even want to use the word buy. Because the process actually is not buying most of the time. Because it's not an outright purchase. Mostly what we are getting are leaseholds. And we are going to be facing the real situation of the law on the expiration of the leases, the first terms. Even though, yes, in the Land Act, some steps have been taken to deal with what happens upon expiration. But there are two issues. One issue is structural. The structural part, the law is trying to do something about it. So if you look at the whole tenure of the Land Act, you can see some attempts being made to clean up the land interest, clean up the legal regime, and do something about the institutional framework and get the institutions to function properly. So, for example, dealing with the state of the records. One of the biggest problems of the land sector is the state of the records. The manual records are not very accessible and they are easily capable of being manipulated. So there's a lot of work going on currently in the Lands Commission over the last 2 decades to try to convert the manual records into digital format, to run digital searches and so on. So there is an attempt to remove human hands and move to more digitization, eliminating or reducing human hands. So those structural things are happening. But there are process things that the prospective purchaser of land, purchaser in quotes here, has to do. Those, the law will not do for you. Your searches at the Lands Commission and the physical searches on the ground, the law will not do for you. The only problem is because the state of the Lands Commission's records are not very decent, there is a disclaimer in the search report in some fine print that the commission is not responsible if you rely on this report and you suffer some detriment. So you can see that even the Lands Commission is also running away from its search report. But like I'm saying, the structural things are being dealt with. In the next couple of years, the Lands Commission would have converted the old regime documents to digital. So if you run a search, it will give you the accurate information. Nobody can go and manipulate a result for you.
Currently, that is possible.
It is possible because it's been done by human hands. You know, many years back when we were trying to put together the land reforms, I was very instrumental in the whole regime. We went to the UK. You could sit in your office as a lawyer and a conveyancer, and you conduct a search into Her Majesty's Land Registry. You don't have to go there. You know, the whole land records are digitized. So you punch in property so-and-so, like the digital number. If there's a building on the land, it will just pop on your screen. All the attribute information about the property will be there. Who owns it? How many acres? Is it a leasehold? How many years have expired? How many years is residue? Tax? And I mean, you have everything about the property right there online. At the end of the month, or maybe the billing cycle, the registry bills you and you pay. So if you are in Tamale and you want to run a search at the registry in Accra, you should be able to access it. So it takes some time before we can get there. But before we get there, the individual who is desirous of acquiring land must protect themselves. You should check the state of the records, however inefficient, still check. Because the Lands Commission still has some good records. So do a search. If you do a search and it shows you that Martin Kpebu is the registered proprietor. That should not be the end. Go to the ground. Find out who owns land there. Who are your neighbors? You may end up going to a place. There's a parcel of land. Somebody tells you it belongs to Nungwa Stool. Nungwa Stool is selling to you. The neighbors around, all of them bought from La. So how are you comfortable that you are buying from Nungwa when the four corners of land around you are all bought from La? I mean, so if you are a prudent purchaser, there are things you can find. You go to a place to try to get land. All around where they are showing you, the blocks have been broken with violence. And the evidence is clear. Everything has been broken apart. They say this is the plot. Then you pay for it on the site. Ghanaians pay for land at the land site. Where the land is, they pay there.
Like they are buying
the guys come, they pack 5 cars. You pay them at the site.
Lawyer, because they tell you that, when you're going to buy land, they tell you that. I'm going to translate. They tell you there's Accra land. Once you buy, you must start building.
Don't go there. Or I will come and help you. Stand here whilst you are building. Don't go there. Anytime somebody tells you, work in the night, finish quickly. And then there is some fallacy too in the law that people have been misinterpreting. They will tell you, oh, in Ghana law, if you build up to lintel, the land becomes yours. Who told you? There is no law in this country that says if you build up to lintel, you can keep the land. This is a corruption of an old law, the Land Development Protection of Purchasers Act, Act 2.
Yeah. Substantial development.
No. And how many? I have seen only one case in which Act 2 was successfully applied. Because the law was so strict that you couldn't make it. Act 2 has already been repealed anyway in the Lands Act.
Oh, so it's not...
Yes, because some of us knew it was bad law. It removes the obligation on prospective purchasers to be prudent. You can't close your eyes when you are trying to acquire land. You have to be vigilant. Martin knows that they say equity aids the vigilant and not the indolent. You see, so you are told, I am the one who built the wall. There is wall on land. You can see that this wall looks like 20 years old. The person who is selling you the land who says he built the wall looks like he's 20 years old. So this wall was built when he was born, and you pay him that money for that wall and the plot. You go in there is sand and stone on the land. And then the man says, I brought the sand and stone, but I want to sell. And you just pay. The next day, somebody comes and says, no, these stones and sand are mine. He said, no, I already paid for the land. You paid for what? You paid for litigation. You see, so Ghanaians should appreciate that the structural issues are being dealt with. That's government's obligation. But you, the purchaser, your obligation, you owe it to yourself.
People have lots of questions for our guests. We're going to get them on the line shortly. But before that, I just want to clarify one thing with Martin Kpebu, and this is just about the way forward. Because there will still be business. People will still want to come and buy land from, vendors like Empire Builders and so forth. So what's the guarantee when they come along and they want to buy? The idea is that it's safer. You have already done your litigation and it's all settled. So when I'm buying from you, there's no problem. But is there still the possibility of stools interfering and coming to ask me to come and pay them again? Or is this matter now concluded, settled, and everybody now knows what
Okay, yes. So as for guaranteeing that nobody can ever come up and make a claim, we can't give such a guarantee because you can't predict the future with any certainty. Yes, but practically on the ground, now that the judgment is being read and by all the parties and we're talking on the side and all that, I think that practically it's safe. Yes, it's safe because the judgment is clear all right, that everybody should just keep what they have. So once the stool has signed other agreements and they accept that that's their signature and the rest, there's no problem. But as we say in life, you can never say never. A young man can get up from the stool and then make claims. Yes, that one we can't stop. But when it comes up, we'll deal with it. But looking at it from the judgment and not just the Supreme Court judgment, from High Court, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court, the residents should not be scared. Nobody will take land from them. Not at all.
Okay. When we come back, you can call us with your questions for lawyers. Kwame, Djan, and Martin Kpebu. Today we're going to get an education. We won't let this thing happen to us. We will learn from other people's mistakes after these messages.
Some institutions touch lives, leaving lasting impressions, and are never forgotten. GCB, your biggest and largest bank in Ghana, is rewarding customers who activate their inactive account this season. From now till the end of October 2022, GCB is inviting all customers whose account have been inactive for over 2 years to activate their account and get exciting rewards. Go on, activate your account with any amount at any GCB bank branch nationwide. You may also activate your account on our online platform and enjoy the GCB experience. Customers who activate their account with 100 Ghana Cedi and above also get a 50 Ghana Cedi reward at the end of the month. Don't forget, terms and conditions apply. Hurry, get your account activated and link it to your Ghana card. Contact our customer service on 0302 681 531 or on toll free on 0800 422 422 for any information that you may require. GCB Bank PLC, your bank for life.
Ojam, why you make quiet like that?
Oh, Charlie, I go do some POP, give somebody where the cornice is not fine, cry.
I always they tell you, see, for decorative roses and cornices, the solution be interface. Them have different imported cornices and roses in different designs and shapes. Installing them be so easy, and it go give your customer the finishing he wants.
Ojam, take me go Interface right now before I lose this customer.
Interface Limited is the leading supplier and installer of finishing input materials for the building and construction industry in Ghana. Call us on 0274-999999 or visit our website at
www.interfacelimited.net. Facebook Interface Limited GH. Instagram Interface.limited.
When the world looks at my child, they just see an energetic 8-year-old. But I see more. My Lucy is going to become captain of her school volleyball team, keep excelling in class, and do great things one day. I see a champion. So when I give her Milo with her breakfast every day, it's all part of waking up the champion in her.
Don't just wake up your child, wake up the champion in her. Let Milo with Active Go and the natural goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa help wake up the champion in your child every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo. This advert is FDA approved.
This is your last chance to make that dream travel you have been waiting for come true. So take that step with Latina Travels and Tours and join the business tour in Turkey and leisure in Dubai for all your business and leisure needs from the 1st to the 8th of November 2022. Package starts from $2,500 and includes visa, flight, accommodation, 3-meal plan, transfer and tours. To register, contact Latina Travel on 0244-260-789 or call Gifty on 0270-302-245 or visit the Sunny TV premises or Latina Travel at the Elisa Hotel, Northridge, Accra. This advert is sponsored by Joy FM, Latina Travel, Sunny TV, Sunny FM, and AGI.
Image Bureau and April Communications, in partnership with the National Theatre, presents.
Stanley, look, all hell will be let loose if now we're to see anything in the newspapers about me and Mary and living in Labone.
But why?
Because I live with Nashome in his cantonments.
No, son. You live with Mary in Labone.
That too.
Hey, you've got 2 homes?
Yes.
One here with Mary?
Yes.
And one with your girlfriend in East Cantonment?
Yes, only Nashome is not my girlfriend.
What is she? A German Shepherd?
She's my wife.
Run for your wife. Live at the National Theatre, Saturday 1st and Sunday 2nd October, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. Tickets are now selling for 100 Ghana Cedis at Bachona Total, Koala, Frankie's, Tema Community 11 Shell, Nalem Store, X-Men, East Legon, or go to www.imagebureaugh.com or dial *365*2020 hash.
So you've got 2 wives?
Yes.
And 2 homes?
Yes.
I can't believe it.
Me myself, sometimes I'm surprised.
Prepare for the most hilarious comedy of your life.
Football's greatest season is here, and DSTV is the stadium with all the action. Enjoy every single match from the FIFA World Cup, Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, the UEFA Europa League, and the UEFA Champions League. The greatest football from the greatest leagues around the world. Ronaldo, Haaland, Messi, Salah, Djan, and Benzema. All week, every week. Get your decoder today for just 169 Ghana cedis and upgrade to compact and be part of sport's greatest stadium only on DSTV. DSTV, it's your moment.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
The Super Morning Show on Joy, and oh goodness, such a learning experience this is. We're so pleased that our guests Kwame Djan and Martin Kpebu are here with us. They're going to answer all your questions in just a moment. First, let me ask you if you are an accomplished leader or an emerging leader who desires to see great leadership on the continent. Join the Live to Lead conference for a full day of leadership events on Friday, October 7. Live to Lead is organized by the John Maxwell Company, live from Atlanta, Georgia, and simulcast around the globe. The theme is Leading with Integrity for the Common Good, and it's delivered by world-class speakers. This year, we have John C. Maxwell, Patrick Ewua, Patricia Ubunai, Uncle Ibu White, Gwyneth Addo, and Madam Kathleen Addy. Okay, Patrick Lencioni and other international speakers will also be there on Friday, October 7, 2022. It's virtual, and it's going to be on the Leader Pass platform. 799 Ghana cedis is all you need to participate. Call 054 666 5826 or 0244 012 or just go to livetoleadghana.com for more information. Partners are Goldfields, Joy FM, Village of Hope, Global Shea Alliance, EcoBank, Stanbic Bank, KPMG, Hollard, ABSA, and UBA. Live to Lead is brought to you by brought to you in Ghana by CTL Africa, Yalperbi Team, and SJA Consult. All right, you know the number 0302 216 541 or 055 1111 997. Call us. You've got questions, haven't you? You've got stories and anecdotes. We want to hear them all. Call us. Let's have a chat. We're talking about land disputes, particularly when it comes to stool lands. That's where things can get a bit naughty. So call us and let's talk. I have a question for the two of you. This one was sent in by Bob Kumson, who is one of our listeners. He says, is it true that Kwame Nkrumah's government vested all of Ghana's land in the state of Ghana? That's why he was successful with big development projects like UCC, KNUST, Akosombo Dam, Tema Township, and Harbour, etc. No stool had control over any land in Ghana. If that's true, why and when was this law abolished? Would that not have solved all of these land problems?
It's not true. Okay. Totally. If you look at the land size, the land mass of Ghana, it's about 238,000 square kilometers. The land mass. The figures we have and available at the Lands Commission and state agencies is that maybe about 21% of this land mass, about 21% has been acquired by the state.
Right.
By way of compulsory acquisition.
Okay.
He used a certain terminology, vested. He said Kwame Nkrumah vested. Maybe he's using vested in the ordinary sense of the word. But vested in the land law means that the president has vested the land in himself to manage on behalf of the owners. A vesting, strictly speaking, is not a compulsory acquisition.
Right. It's
because
just right of use, if you will.
Exactly. You know, so historically, that's the distinction. A vesting is not a compulsory acquisition.
Right.
And a compulsory acquisition extinguishes the ownership of the pre-vesting, pre-acquisition owners. But there was a judgment of the Supreme Court in the case called the Osumanche Layout Case, Nino Teomabo and Attorney General and Lands Commission, in which the Supreme Court appeared to say that vesting and compulsory acquisition virtually have the same effect.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to learn more about that in a short while, but we've got people holding on the line. So we'll come back to this. Let's hear some of our calls. Let's take a few and see if we can help people with their issues. Evans is in Kaswa. Hi, Evans. Good morning. Okay, we may have lost Evans. Does that mean we have Benjamin from Adenta?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Benjamin. Good to have you again.
Yes, good. I want to find out if some people buy land and say that they are making an investment. So after 20 years, they are now going to sell the land at a very exorbitant rate. Now, the lawyer is telling us that many people are having leasehold for 99 years. So if they are going to sell the land after 20 years of their acquiring it, are they giving it to you for 70 years or 79 years, or you are still going to have it for 99 years? That's my first question. Then secondly, there's a lot of people who dupe people in this country, chiefs inclusive. But I have never seen or heard any prosecution of such people. Rather, as Lawyer Djan was saying moments ago, the people ought to be vigilant. So the onus lies on you. So how do you bring people to justice, the chiefs especially, when they know very well that whatever they do is criminal, and they go ahead to sell land to so many people? Now, do we have any cases in court like that, or any judgment that can, the lawyers can tell us that can form the basis of people, because once there's a judgment like that, people are going to be scared not to do people. But today, I have never heard anybody prosecuted. So if lawyer Kpebu or Kwame can tell us if there are precedents that some people indeed have gone to jail for duping people in the name of land. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take a few more questions and then our guests can answer them together. Emmanuel is in Ada. Hi, Emmanuel. Good morning.
Good morning, Kojo.
Thanks for calling.
My question is simple. Can a land in Ada be registered and a land title be given? Land title. Can you get the land title in Ada?
Okay. Can a land title be given for land in Ada?
Yes.
All right. Okay, good. William is in Gomabudubrim. Hi, William.
Good morning, Kojo.
What's your question?
Simple. I just want their contact, because even in this place, even the lands here are fighting for position, let alone the human beings. The lands are fighting for where they should be and under whose name they should be. So let me get their contact, because as for the litigation, they have about
William, leave your contacts with our producers. We'll see how to get you in touch with our guests. Let's go to Akropong. Hi, Kofi. Good morning. Oh dear, I think we've lost Kofi. Hello. Yeah, that's right. No, Kofi is gone. So call us 0302-216-541 055-1111-997. Our guests Martin Kpebu and Kwame Djan giving us quite a bit of schooling today on disputes, especially when it comes to stool land. Call us with your questions. Chidiak is in South Labadi. Hi, Chidiak. Good morning. Hello, Chidiak.
Yeah.
There you are. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Kojo.
What's your question?
I want to know from Lawyer Djan, what is his view about land guards?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, that's a good one. Land guards. Francis is in Osu. Hi, Francis. Good morning.
Yeah. There you are. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning to you. Can you turn down that radio or perhaps walk away from it, okay?
All right,
so we don't get the feedback. Yeah, and then let's hear you on the phone. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good. What's your question, Francis?
All right, sure. So I wanted to find out if somebody trespasses on your parcel of land and constructs on it over time, and you warn the person initially and he doesn't heed, and you later decide to sue the person, does it constitute? Can the person say that you are making an unjust enrichment from him because he's built the house and he's living in it and stuff like that, and when he initially trespassed, you didn't say anything, and after he's built and is living in it, you are now coming to sue him?
Okay. All right. We'll get you an answer to that as well. Shall we take one more and then we'll answer these ones before we come back if there's time? David is in Akropong. I think we've got him back on the line. David, good morning.
Hello, Kojo. Good morning.
Thanks for calling us back. What's your question?
My problem is there are people at the land who have their agents also on the field, and what they do is they go around and check the lands, and if your land is not registered quickly, then they register for you. Because I bought a land in a Kopon here, 202. It's about 20 years ago, and I've been on this land for a long time. Just 2020, somebody came to the land and realized that I have not registered the land. Quickly, he went to Kofodia to register a part of the land. And now I'm still battling in court, going to court every day. Though he has registered the land is not his. But the problem is those are the lands. I think before they will register a land, they should come and do diligence before they register a land to somebody. Because there's no bad land anywhere. You buy a land from a family. So that's my problem.
Okay, David, thanks for that question. Thank you very much to all of you. Let's get some answers. So we'll start with Benjamin's question. His first one was to Lawyer Kwame Djan. The second one, I guess, Martin can handle. So his first question. Winston buys land for, acquires a leasehold on some land for 99 years. 20 years later, he sells the land to me. Am I getting it for 79 years, or will I also get 99 years?
No, because you are stepping in his shoes. So you are taking the residue, the unexpired portion, is what you are taking. So you cannot start again from 99 years. You are continuing from where he is living off. So it's very simple.
Okay.
If the man has a lease, I will give you an example. One day, a client of mine wanted to acquire some land in town. There was only 17 years on it, and they were selling it to him for $4 million. So when he came to me, he told the guys, oh, they have a long list. I said, no, you are buying what they have left, which is the residue. He was shocked. He didn't know that was the case. He thought 99 years is starting from day one that he gets it. You are continuing from where the person you are taking from your grantor. And normally it becomes an assignment. So you are the assignee, and the person who is giving it to you is the assigner. So he gives you a deed of assignment, and it is a residue, which is called the unexpired portion, that you are getting.
That's a very important thing to be aware of.
Yes.
For those, especially first-time buyers, to understand that whatever you are buying, it's mawaka no.
Ena ukofa ubiye didina ukono ubiye fufoni ya tuwa mienu no nwedi hafa. Na ukofa usanya fufu.
Translation. If you meet someone eating fufu, he's halfway through, and you say you want to buy the rest, you don't get a full meal.
A chopper owner should bring you a new plate.
All right, okay. Now, the second part of Ben's question was whether chiefs get prosecuted when they do these things, sell the same tract of land to 4 people and so forth. Yeah. Are there cases where chiefs who have done that have been prosecuted?
It's not just about chiefs. Look, Kojo, you and I, before we were born, the law already criminalized multiple transactions in land. Yeah. This is the old Section 34 of the Land Registry Act of 1962, before I was born. If you sell what doesn't belong to you, or you sell what belongs to you to more than one person, it was a felony. Second-degree felony since 1962. So our country, it is not about a lack of legislation. It is about the capacity and the will to enforce the legislation. And in the Land Act of 2020, if you look at Section 12 and Section 277, the litany of offenses and the sanctions, very stiff. The rest, I leave it to you to judge.
We'll leave it to Martin. Are there examples?
Yes. So, Wednesday, even let's okay, Kojo. Yes, let's mention there's even one that a lawyer himself was jailed. Yes, I think lawyer Acquah. Yeah. For these multiple sales. So the case was in court, criminal prosecution. The lawyer was jailed. Wow. Yes. And there are other ones. So there are some cases, I know around Amasama area. I've seen judgments. So those who sell, they're being jailed from time to time. So perhaps maybe we can put
publicized.
we put
Publicized.
them together and then
Widely.
do a particular show on that.
Yes.
That's talking about all the cases in which people have been jailed. That's what happens in Ghana. From time to time, the laws bite, but because they are not so frequent, we forget and it's as if it's never happened. Yeah, it happens routinely. Routinely.
Let's quickly get through these other questions with some quick answers. Can land in Ada be so the kind of title?
He
for
said,
land in Ada?
can a land title be issued in respect of land in Adan?
Okay.
The answer is yes, and I'll give him the reason. The whole country has the Greater Accra region. The whole of the Greater Accra region has been declared a land title registration region. So, if the Minister for Lands issues an instrument declaring Adan as a title district, they can issue titles there. But the whole of Greater Accra is a title region. And the Central Business District in Adum is also a title district.
Right.
The rest of the country is deeds.
Okay, got it.
So that's his answer.
Okay. Your view on land guards?
Me, Kwame Jama, view on land guards.
Yeah.
I have always had some very unorthodox views on this question of land guards. Because I always pose a question. So if Winston has a parcel of land in Kaswa and he has 2 pump actions that are licensed, he goes to sit on his land in some elevated space and he's watching over his land. Is he a land guard?
Not at all.
Now, if you engage a private security company with guards and guns to sit on your land and protect it, are they land guards?
Well, are they not?
Are they land guards? No, you see, the law says you have the right to protect your private property. So we have to be careful about how we define land guards. So the Land Act never used the word land guards, and it was for a reason.
Okay.
The Land Act talks about those who extort money from landowners, those who prevent developers from developing their land, but it doesn't mention the word land guard anywhere in the Land Act.
Right.
Because what constitutes or who is a land guard can be problematic.
All right, we've got a couple more questions, but I think our time is running out, so we're going to have to very quickly take these messages. Are you worried about acquiring litigation-free land in Kumasi? Are you thinking about how to obtain exquisite and outstanding accessories to make your home unique? Do you want to buy a house? Where do you live? Do you want quality but affordable roofing sheets, blocks, granite, pavement, blocks, marble, paint, poly tanks, home security, and anything construction? Well, don't worry any longer. Your superstation Love 99.5 FM is here again with Kumasi's edition of the Habitat Fair 2022. That's what sparked our conversation today. It brings together finance houses, construction firms, real estate developers, dealers in furnishings, and so many more. And the event is slated for Friday, the 30th of September until Sunday, the 2nd of October, from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. each day. Habitat Fair 2022 is brought to you by your superstation Love FM, sponsored by Republic Bank PLC, we're the one for you, DBS Industries Limited, your roofing, concrete, and steel solutions, YD Locks, we protect what matters most, Superlock, you deserve the best, City Park, Ifie, Tesprom Estate Limited. We build your home in 1 year and you pay by 15 years. Syntex, a strong, a tough. Norax, water purification made easy. Love FM Habitat Fair, home ownership where you live matters.
And Oktoberfest is here again. Ghana's premier 5-star hotel, Abadi Beach Hotel, brings you another exciting edition of the biggest beer festival in the world, Oktoberfest 2022. And performing live is the Bayern Boys Band from Germany. Catch all the fun with German traditional foods and beer at the Plush Labadi Beach Hotel from the 7th to the 9th of October 2022. For inquiries and reservations, call 0302 772501 or 0544431213. Come, let's party.
All right, in the very last few minutes, we'll try and squeeze in answers to those couple of questions. But first, these messages from our partners.
Here we go. I do praise, yeah, the hip. I do praise, yeah,
Soba at Top Praise 2022 is sponsored by DBS Industries Limited. Roofing Papa Fie. To roofing sheet every DBS Industries Limited. Nayam Bosu free and from out. Freya our 0240 84 44 44 at Top Praise 2022 is sponsored by Franco Trading Enterprise. Franco Trading Enterprise. Phone, accessories, any air condition Papa Fie. 21st Clinic, the sciatica experts. Nayas toothbrush. Ayelab gripe water and Molly's baby oil. Phyto sunflower oil. You deserve a life of goodness. AA charcoal toothpaste. Fluoride free. Made in Ghana. Anas Boy Enterprise. Unimte Ankasa. Do praise. Yeah, baby.
Oktoberfest is here again. Ghana's premier 5-star hotel, Labadi Beach Hotel, brings you another exciting edition of the biggest beer festival in the world, Oktoberfest 2022. Performing live is the Bayern Boys Band from Germany. Catch all the fun with German traditional food and beer at the plush Labadi Beach Hotel from the 7th to the 9th of October 2022. For reservations and enquiries, call 0302-772-501 or 054-443-1213. Oktoberfest Beer Festival. Come, let's party.
Football kukuta mene ni edeba ofie. Go TV adarumanti. Jojo wo ofie na je osite fi se. Go TV the leagues and the cup competitions e bonson. Ebre wo Super Sports so. Hwesenia Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Europa, and FA Cup nyina be koso wo den. Twen na the FIFA World Cup no so be pi wo so. Better football day here. You Go TV decoder 89 Ghana cedis per. Na hwe football kukuta season for flowing. Go TV. Love it.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
All right, welcome back. It's the Super Morning Show on Joy, and our guest Martin Kpebu, private legal practitioner, and Kwame Djan, also private legal practitioner, giving us an education on how to avoid litigation with stool lands. And your questions were coming through. Let's see if we can get you answers to the final two questions that you asked before our guests leave us. And Francis wanted to know, if a trespasser constructs a property on your land, and you don't sue him until he's completed the property, he's living in it, and then you take him to court, are you being unfair because you waited until he had completed his construction before you took him to court?
Yes, depending on the fact. So simply, you hear lashes and acquiescence, okay? So if you see it and you don't take action, yes, that one, they can stop you. If only he's seen it. If only he's seen it. But if you don't see, the law gives you, you have up to 12 years. If somebody comes on the land, if you don't see it, you have up to 12 years to be able to sue to recover. After the 12 years, you lose it, right? Somebody is asserting a rival claim. But beneath the 12 years, if you see the person developing and you stand by, oh no, that one you won't. They will call it lashes and acquiescence.
The final question here was from David in Ekropong. He said he bought some land 20 years ago, didn't register it. Just recently, 20 years later, someone was going to register it, and he's wondering whether that is...
yeah, it happens from time to time. That's if you left it. So what he has to do is that he has to sue. Okay, when did he see it? Okay. Yeah, so he has to sue. He can sue to recover it. Once he can show that, look, the person didn't do any adverse possession. So what we say is that somebody doesn't come on the land. So the land is lying bare, you are in charge of it, nobody is come onto it. No, the person can't, by registration, become owner. It happens all the time. We sue. Sometimes you even find out that the person is a phantom human being. So you go to court against the supposedly phantom person, and then the registration is cancelled. Yes. So watch what is on the land. That's the key thing. You see, Lawyer Djan mentioned earlier on, you hear possession is 9/10 of the law, 99% of the law. So what is being on the... So if you have your house there, you don't even need a house. If you have just a strip of sand, anything that looks unnatural on it...
Even corner pillars.
Excellent. Anything that looks unnatural is notice that you have to go and check this quarter strip of sand or this bucket strip of sand you've seen. No matter how small. How did it come there? Because the sand it's not natural to that land, or if it's what do you call it, aggregates, this stone.
Well, the point is this.
Yes.
They
So
started
that's
paying.
notice to you. If you don't, you can go and register 1,000 times. The court will cancel it 1,000 times.
Interesting.
Kojo, while we're on with the conversation, the general feedback is that the conversation must continue tomorrow. Lawyer Kwame Djan, Ghanaians are saying you should be back here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tell Ghanaians I'll be back.
You'll be back
Wonderful.
tomorrow.
Wonderful.
When it is Ghana,
Wonderful.
That's exactly
So it means
what
we'll
we
continue.
want.
We'll
Thank you
continue
for that.
tomorrow.
I'll be back.
Yes, we appreciate that.
I promise
very much.
Ghanaians I'll be back.
It's a lot
They
of
should just
education.
give me help to wake up from.
Amen.
In fact, we have prayed for health for you already.
Amen.
We are so grateful to you both, Martin, Kpebu, and Kwame Djan, lawyers, prominent Ghanaian lawyers. They don't like it when you call them prominent,
Yes,
but they
that's
are.
all. Yeah, I'm a rookie lawyer.
We are not gurus.
But Lawyer Kwame Djan, landlord, you are landlord.
You are that's exactly what you
are
are,
landlord.
So thank you both.
We are
And,
students of the law.
Yeah,
Martin
indeed.
and I, we are still students of the law.
Winston and I are
Lawyer
students
Djan
of
is
the-
decades ahead of me. Yeah.
So more from our guests in the coming days. This is not a matter that can be dealt with fully in one show. But for now, we thank you both so much for your time. We appreciate it, and of course, we thank you for listening. We're back with even more on the Super Morning Show tomorrow. So stay with us. It's a Friday tomorrow. I can't believe it. It's the weekend already. Payday as well. So I'll be coming to visit some of you. All right. Until tomorrow, stay with your super station, Joy 99.7 FM. On behalf of the whole team, thank you for listening.